I have put in place a zero tolerance policy for illegal entry on our southwest border. If you cross the border unlawfully, then we will prosecute you. If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you.
The zero tolerance policy is intended to deter people from breaking the law.
The California wildfires, on a phone call with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, told FEMA to cut off the money and to no longer give individual assistance to California. He told us to stop giving money to people whose houses had burned down from a wildfire because he was so rageful that people in the state of California didn't support him and that politically it wasn't a base for him.
Shock and outrage. Those are the words being used after tear gas was used to remove peaceful protesters from Washington's Lafayette Park. Moments later, President Trump walked through that park to a nearby historic church for a photo op.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
New tonight, Vanity Fair reporting that Jared Kushner was working on a secret national testing plan to bring coronavirus under control in the spring. And that by early April, some who worked on the plan believed it was actually about to be announced. But then the report says the plan, quote, just went poof into thin air. Today, more than 153,000 Americans have lost their lives to the virus, more than any other country in the world. I wanted to ask you about that because what did happen behind the scenes? I mean, I know, you talked to several people who were, involved with this, who knew about it. You talk about one who was in frequent contact with the official coronavirus task force, and they told you that someone on Kushner's team said, oh, well, we don't need a national plan because at that time, right, it's blue states being hit the hardest. Democrat states. And you quote the expert as saying the political folks believe that because it was going to be relocated to Democratic states, that they could blame those governors and that would be an effective political strategy. Look, it's a stunning thing, Catherine. I mean, this is basically saying they did not care if people died in Democrat states.
Now we know Vladimir Putin pays a bounty for the murder of American soldiers. Donald Trump knows too and does nothing.
A married Donald Trump supposedly invited a Hungarian beauty queen to his hotel room after attending the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, according to a newly unearthed interview. Former Miss Hungary Kata Sarka, age 30, told a reality show host last May that she was attending the pageant's after-party when a man surrounded by bodyguards approached her. Sarka said, "A man approached me and grabbed my hand, drew me to himself, and asked, 'Who are you?' She added, 'He gave me his business card with his private number and told me in which hotel and in which room he's staying in. And his name is Donald Trump.'"
Michael Cohen, one of President Donald Trump's top lawyers, reportedly organized a Delaware-based limited liability company to transfer a $130,000 payment to the adult film star Stormy Daniels, who claimed that she had a sexual encounter with Trump. The alleged encounter between Daniels and Trump happened at a July 2006 celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe.
The president, by the way, reached a major milestone yesterday, and I don't feel like this has gotten enough attention. According to the Washington Post, which has been keeping track, I guess, yesterday, Trump told his 2,000th lie since taking office. So happy lie 2K, everybody. 2,000 lies in 11 months. He's averaging 5.6 false claims a day.
Those troubles with the truth run the gamut from his father's birthplace to his slot machines in Atlantic City. And it is a very bad habit that he takes with him wherever he goes.
My father is German, right? Was German. And born in a very wonderful place in Germany.
Fred Trump was born in New York City.
Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the do anything.
Let's get to the news. In a new interview, President Trump's former White House doctor said he would put cauliflower in Trump's mashed potatoes in an effort to improve his diet.
I'm really rich.
How much is Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump worth? Mr. Trump has assets worth at least $1.5 billion, from stakes in real estate and entertainment companies to restaurants, a modeling agency, and operating a carousel and ice skating rink in New York's Central Park. According to a 92-page federal disclosure form released Wednesday, Mr. Trump's income was between $456 million and $542 million for 2014 and most of the first half of 2015.
In January, Trump's own senior advisor issued a memo warning him that coronavirus presented a grave threat to the United States. Days later, the World Health Organization declared it a global health emergency. Where was Trump? He wasn't distracted. He had plenty to do, like campaign rallies and golfing. In February, the virus spread to Europe. While Italy was shutting down and quarantines were being announced all over the world, Trump played more golf and packed thousands of people together. Sounds safe. The day before the first American died, where was Trump? Where do you think he was? At another rally. By March, the world was calling coronavirus a pandemic. Where was Trump? On Twitter, as usual, blaming everyone else. When Trump finally bothered to take it seriously, it was too late for 10,000 Americans, and who knows how many more.
My Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
If you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
These are the members of Congress he was attacking but did not name, suggesting that they should go back to their home countries, even though 3 were born in America. This was a tweet yesterday that triggered the political storm. Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? These places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
But the country of Mexico is killing us. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
What is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. But when I came out there, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her wherever.
Hey, Gene, speaking of envy, your latest piece is titled Trump's Obama Envy is Getting Even Worse. You write in part this: one of the things that genuinely seems to matter to Trump is comparing himself, favorably of course, with his predecessor, no matter how delusional the rationale. Russia was kicked out of the G8 in 2014 after Putin sent military forces into neighboring Ukraine to seize and annex the Crimean Peninsula. In Trump's fanciful version, however, Crimea was taken away from President Obama.
Donald Trump really seems to admire the heads of state who do not have term limits.
This president is totally dazzled by Vladimir Putin, by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, by authoritarian leaders in countries like Brazil. He gets on the phone with them and he loses. He gets all googly-eyed.
Who's number one with Hispanics? Trump. I can be the most presidential person ever. We had the biggest audience in the history of inaugural speeches. The labor leaders that came out, one of them said it was the single greatest meeting I've ever had with anybody. It's the highlight of my life. Here's a picture of the crowd. Now, the audience was the biggest ever. That speech was a home run. It was the biggest standing ovation since Peyton Manning had won the Super Bowl, and they said it was equal. One thing this shows is how far over they go here. Look how far this is. This goes all the way down here, all the way down. They said it was one of the great speeches. They showed the people applauding and screaming. I've had a wonderful life and wonderful success. People loved it. They loved it. They gave me a standing ovation for a long period of time. When you look at this tremendous sea of love, I call it a sea of love. I would give myself, look, I hate to do it, but I will do it. I would give myself an A+. Is that enough?